most books that talk about emotional regulation, emotional intelligence, communication strategies, I always mention one book here that I always remember, mashallah, is the book How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a really good book about how to regulate your emotions so that you act in a way that is beneficial to you and to those around you. Brother here is asking me any books that impacted me in relation to character. Oh yeah, many. I did it. There's Islamically written and written by Muslim authors, and those written by non-Muslim authors. But for every person has their own thing that affects them. But for me, ya Habibi, wallahi, it is my studying of the Prophet's seerah, of his biography. I read so much about the Prophet ﷺ's character in different circumstances, situations, and how they collaboration. So any book on seerah you can, inshallah, see. But other books that most books that talk about emotional regulation, emotional intelligence, communication strategies. I always mention one book here that I always remember, mashallah, is the book How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a really good book about how to regulate your emotions so that you act in a way that is beneficial to you and to those around you. Very good book, wallahi, but it brings Christianity into it sometimes, Abraham Lincoln a little bit into it. But if you take that, because, we don't reject everything about Christianity, and, some have good character. But there's another book called Enjoy Your Life. It's available. Yeah, that's a really good one. That's based on that book, actually. I always mention Ad-Da' wa Dawa, which is the sickness, the ailment and its cure by Ibn al-Qayyim. Yeah, that's a very good book in relation to purifying your ego and purifying your nafs, your conscious and yourself. Because I think character all starts from there. Purifying yourself, which helps you to regulate your emotions. So if you couple these four, inshallah, these are really good. I can bring you some other books, inshallah, but you can start there in lots of these types of genres. Yes, Habib. Walaikum salam.
Just want to know, like, when we go to workplace and we keep a short time, right, like Zuhur Asr. So, in that time, can we just wipe out the socks? Is it permissible?
Yeah. Brother is asking a question. If you need to make wudu and you're in a hurry, such as at work, can you wipe over your socks? Look, this is again a difference of opinion. Fiqh and jurisprudence, we have to appreciate that there are different views. Right. It doesn't mean Islam is wrong. It just means understanding the words of the Prophet ﷺ is very normal to differ on, and one is more correct than the other, and it's a form of flexibility as well. That, look, ask those with knowledge, and inshallah you're okay. So wiping over the socks, and I am convinced with the evidence that you can wipe over your socks. But which type of socks? The thick socks. Thick socks that when you sprinkle water on it, it doesn't go through. However, believe it or not, the majority of schools of thought and scholars and jurists say that the socks have to be leather, not cotton or normal material. And they have their evidence saying that because we don't know of the Prophet ﷺ wiping over normal fabric. But then there's a counter argument to that as well. We're not here to talk about the entire arguments. However, I follow that opinion from the school of thought, the Hanbali, which is what I studied. I know best from my shaykhs. So that's what if I have to, I would do that. But thick socks, that where you sprinkle water, doesn't go through. My advice is that if you can take them off, that would be the safer option, and you would get out of the difference of opinion if you can. So that's all I can say about that, inshallah. But if you choose, if you're in a situation where it's hard for you and you're at work and really truly, and you ended up taking with that view, then inshallah every now and then, not a problem. Because this is called khilaf al-mu'tabar. I promise myself I'm not going to go deeper into it. It's called khilaf al-mu'tabar, which means a valid difference of opinion, meaning it's based on the same religious jurist protocols or guidelines. And that is, they both have the strong evidence within the guidelines of what you can give a fatwa with, and that is that there's evidence for the socks, and the evidence for the khuf, which is the leather socks, is more unanimous, and this one is more minority, but they have strong evidence for it. So if you wipe over your socks, and you have to every now and then, you want to go with that view, that's fine, inshallah. But in general, my advice to you, try to take off your socks as often as you can to make wudu.
So it's a thick sock, yeah, thick, not thin.
Thick, not thin, no. Thick socks or the type of socks that are made of a material where they're waterproof. Okay, so the idea is waterproof, right? That's why leather sucks, because it's waterproof. And also if you're wearing boots, tight boots, the ones you buckle like the arm ones and they go over the ankle. So long as they go over the ankle and you haven't taken them off, you can wipe over them. They're similar to they're like the leather socks anyway. So the idea is to have socks that are either thick or the type of material that are waterproof. Allah knows best.
Ibrahim.
أحسن الله كل شيء. الصلاة